All right, well, while we're waiting for the people to arrive, since you guys got here kind of sort of early, this is your chance to play Ask David Anything. Since you braved the traffic, came out to see us, are we running by any chance? Let's get all the good questions on camera, just in case. Are we running? Yes, we are. Okay. What's your name again, sir?
Sean.
Sean, welcome to NLP Power. I'm going to do the formal introduction at exactly 7 o'clock. But in the meantime, what brought you out tonight? What do you want to take home?
Everything.
Everything. I always get that.
Nothing
Just,
specific.
yes, have some. Cool. All right, well, I'll try to give you a little, I'll take you as far as I can in the time we have. I'll show you where to go to get more. That is my intention. These events are always free. There is no obligation for anything that we offer on occasion. So please keep that in mind, and we do give you a lot of cool stuff. Matter of fact, we've often been told that the information we give away for free is better than the stuff most people charge for, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that. So, you sir, I see you every day. You're one of our wonderful World's Ventures bucket list people. What brought you out tonight? What is it you want to take home? By the way, I like your pants.
You said this is your favorite class?
It is one of my favorite classes to
So I
teach.
said, well, I definitely got to go with it.
Yeah, it's one of the most fun classes you can have with your clothes on, and sometimes not. But that's a different story. Okay. How about you, sir? What do you want to take home today? What's your name?
David.
Hey, David. Like you already.
Anything you want to give me?
Anything I want to give you. We have lots of candy. Well, hello again. Good to see you again, sir.
Good.
How you been?
All right.
Cool. What would you like to learn today? What would you like to take home?
Well, I was beginning to doubt you when you said take all the candy you can, because I thought we didn't need a sugar high with you.
You know. You and me. We got history, you and me. You know what I'm saying? Right? How about you, sir? What's your name?
My name's Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Faster building before.
Faster Building. You've been to my meetups before, right?
Nope.
No, first time? You have a very familiar face. You doubt I've spent way too much time in the post office. I'm not sure which. All right. But you want to have faster building rapport?
Yeah.
If I could show you how to do that in all kinds of really cool and unobvious ways, would that be fun? Cool. I'll do that next week. How about you guys? No, I'm going to show you some really cool stuff. Name and for the camera, please. Yes.
My name is Paul.
Hey, Paul.
I came to one of your things about a month ago. We learned a lot, so we
Cool.
new nuggets.
New nuggets. I'm all about the nuggets. All about that nuggets. About that nugget. What's your name again? For the camera. Oh, wait. By the way, we have mics this time. I need a mic runner, though.
Mike Runner.
It's like that. It's the sequel to the Kite Runner. For the cameras. I'm always getting feedback from my people on YouTube that nobody in the audience can ever hear the questions. So if you do have a question, I'm going to get as many of you in before we have to start as I can, just so I know how to target tonight's talk. Yes?
My name is Justine. I'm actually looking for the same thing as building, as he said, pretty much just learning new things and building rapport.
Building rapport? Okay.
Starting a conversation.
Starting a conversation? We can do that. Oh, can we do that? Pass it on down. Ah, that was the sun handoff. Go on.
I'm Karen.
Hi, Karen.
Just here to learn more of what you teach so well.
Okay, well, depending on who you ask, that could be any number of things. And what particular thing that I'm supposedly supposed to teach so well would you like to learn?
Well, there's something about dating tonight, huh?
Something about dating. Don't do it. No. Pass it on. Yes, sir. Fast, hot like a bunny, hot potato, hot potato. I'll slow down in a minute once the caffeine wears off.
Stuff I've learned from you before, and I don't think I was ready for it, so
Oh, well, you've gone through some serious transformations.
Yeah.
Let's give this guy a big round of applause. He's done some hellacious change work on himself, which you will never know anything about, but I want to recognize his efforts for that. Pass it on. Yes, sir. You.
Hi, I'm Russ.
Hey, Russ.
I've been here a few years, and each time you do a little bit different, so
I
the
do.
net of what you teach grows in my head. I've learned a lot.
Okay, so there's a net growing in your head.
Looking for information.
Very cool. Pass it on.
Hey, I'm Cynthia, and I can say this stuff works.
She can say this. I watched her make it work. It was frightening.
Yeah, now I need to know how to turn it on.
Oh, shit. That's the next seminar. That's the $2,000 seminar. $900, I teach you how to turn it on. For $2,000, I show you how to turn it off. Very cool. Pass it on up.
That's next week.
That's next week. What would you like to see? Let me give it a brief explanation of why I'm doing this. A, you all read the same letter. Now, many of you have been to my meetups before. A lot of you, how many of you, this is your first time? Raise your hands. Very cool. Excellent. That's what I like to see. I love to see a nice mix of people who are return offenders and people who are new, because that's what gets the word out about what we do. But there's two reasons why that I do this. A, I want to know you. I'm up on here on stage, which is an evolution in and of itself, believe me, but the truth is I want to know each and every one of you as best I can. The other part is you all read the same letter. You all saw the different things that I offered in that letter, but there was one or two key things that separated you from everybody else, from the 12,000 other people who read that letter, that made you want to come out tonight across town, through traffic, over the river and through the woods, to come to a very weird pyramid-shaped building in the middle of nowhere. And I want to know what that is so I can give it to you. Because as impolitically incorrect as it sounds, I do play favorites. I love my internet audience. I really do. I really love all of you. But the people who actually put their butts in the chair, you guys are the ones who deserve everything I have to give. But I don't know how to target that unless I ask. So I do. So if you're wondering why I'm doing what I'm doing, that's why. I want to know you. I want to know where to go.
I heard about neuro-linguistic programming for the first time yesterday, and I saw that on your meetup ad, and so that's why I'm here.
Cool. So you want to know about NLP? Very cool. Let's just pass this on. Hello.
I am Rita.
Hi, Rita. Welcome.
You showed up on my news feed on Facebook. I started watching your videos, and then I heard Meetup in San Diego, and I started looking.
Oh, very cool. Thank you. And we started with Sean, so we'll just pass this back to Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie. I saw Flirting for Fun for Profit, and I said I'm in.
Okay, so which one you want, the fun or the profit?
Both.
Okay, I like that answer.
Good answer.
I like that answer. Energy Joe, what do you know?
Wait a minute, I thought it was dating for profit.
Oh, that comes later. That's the $3,000 seminar. But I have to do that out of the continental United States or in Nevada.
Great. Take it on.
All right, pass it on. Pass the magic wand.
Hi, I'm John.
Hi, John.
I've been to a couple of your meetups and I really enjoyed them. And you really make me think.
Well, thank you.
So I'm back to more thoughts.
We got to get you out of your head and into the world. All right, cool. Pass the baton. We're coming up on, we're right at, how fast? Everybody talk like chipmunks. Hi, Elise.
My first time here.
Welcome to my world. Won't you come on in?
Thank you. I'm curious to hear that.
Okay, excellent.
Hi, I'm Sharon.
Hi, Sharon.
What are we saying about last year?
Yeah, what is it you want to take home? If there was nothing but one of the two things that you really wanted to learn tonight, you went home with that, you felt like you got your money's worth, what would that be? Some of you got that. You'll get that tomorrow.
I need
Not a freaking clue, huh?
to approach people.
How to approach people? Okay, that's something tangible. How to approach. I got stuff on approaching that will just blow your minds and terrify you at the same time.
Am I on the hook now?
Are you off the hook now? You're never off the hook. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm Scott.
Hi, Scott.
I like your seminar on how to lie, I think it was.
How to lie?
How to tell people.
How to tell when people are lying. How to lie is the $5,000 seminar.
I'm just here for the fun.
Cool. As long as that's the key word tonight.
Fun.
Fun. Ladies and gentlemen, if you ain't having fun, you ain't getting any further. It's that simple. We gotta get playful. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The more playful you become, the more attractive you get. Okay, how many people here have ever done any kind of online dating? Okay, now the rest of you who are lying, raise your hands. Okay. Now, you're going to hear me pick on men tonight. You are going to hear me pick on women tonight. I am an equal opportunity picker, right? And there's a reason. One of the things I love about these meetups, and one of the reasons that this is one of my favorite meetups to teach, in addition to just getting playful and getting silly and using the skills and techniques of NLP to help that happen, is I get to watch the look of horror on your face when you realize what you're doing is and how what you're doing is interpreted by the other gender. You can laugh now. It's not that bad, really. And the reason that I love having men and women in the same room at the same time. And I realize that what I'm about to say, there are exceptions to the rule. And most of what I'm going to teach you tonight is targeted at the rule, not the exception. Does that make sense? For every example that I give, you can find a counterexample. I get that. But by and large, what I'm going to be sharing with you tonight is what the majority of things you will encounter or have encountered and didn't realize you were encountering them. That's the other part where I see the look when I start to explain certain behaviors or the genesis of certain behaviors that both genders engage in. You see, if you don't understand how to interpret what the other side is doing, you're going to be stuck getting what you've been getting, which for most of you is frustrated, alone, and generally just pissed off, like me. There were many years where I didn't date anybody but appendages. We won't go there. A couple of caveats tonight, by the way. If politically incorrect language offends you, not a good place for you tonight. Okay? If straight talk offends you, not a good place. Okay? If swear words or politically incorrect metaphors, I don't even have to say it, do I? Right? We got to get playful. We got to stop taking ourselves way too seriously. That being said, I promise you at some point tonight I will offend somebody. It's not personal. Okay? I'm out to offend as many people as I can for therapeutic reasons. You see, until something triggers you, you don't know where the pain points are. You don't know where to look in that minefield. So tonight's idea is to have fun and to be playful, but at some point you will find certain things or certain places you just won't want to go. It's okay. Don't go there. That being said, the more participatory you get tonight, the more you're going to get out of this. I'm going to teach you some things about unconscious communication that are so powerful that even when you know they're being done, you can't fight them. Okay? Tonight, I'm going to go a little bit off the reservation in that I'm going to let you guys actually partner up and do things. Yes, you're going to have to partner up with complete strangers and get them to like you. Oh, shit. I came to a flirting workshop and he made me try to make people like me. You'd be amazed how many people get freaked out by that because they want to come in and take notes. Like, taking a note is going to help you. No. Taking a note is not going to help you. Getting off your butts and doing the drills and getting the skills, that's going to help you. Okay? So, a couple other things. This means yes. Everybody go. This means yes. This means no. There will be a test. This means I know the answer. Please call on me. This means I don't know the answer, so don't waste your time calling on me. This is, oh shit, I hope he doesn't call on me. Right? Very good. So here's the first drill we're going to do. Tonight's workshop is on flirting for fun and profit. We're going to start with the nuts and bolts, and we're going to go wherever it leads us. Everybody stand up. I'll give you my pedigree after this. Oh, I thank you. I'd like to thank the Academy. All right. Or the institution, whichever one brought me here. All right. First things first. I want you to look immediately to your left and immediately to your right. Find a human being that has an appendage. Not that one. Their hand, damn you. Reach out, extend your hand, look them in the eyes and go, that's right, look them in the eyes. Have fun with it. Feel ridiculous. Embrace your inner goofball. Make a game out of it. See how many can rack up the highest number of raspberries. I told you this was entertainment value for me. All right, give yourselves a big round of applause. Have a seat. Now, that does two things out of the way. My name is David Snyder. This is NLP Power / all things San Diego / NLP Today / I'm a certified master practitioner and trainer in neuro-linguistic programming. I'm certified through the founder, Dr. Richard Bandler, and the Society of NLP. I have authored over 15 different products on advanced forms of human communication, specialized human influence technologies, as I like to call it, codename shit. And it's some crazy shit, let me tell you. But when you get this shit together, when you get this shit down, no shit, it's good, right? So, over 15 different products on all forms of human influence, including conversational hypnosis, attraction and dating, advanced sales and performance. I have a clinic in Solana Beach where my specialty there is treating physiological illness that has as its roots repressed emotion. So I don't get, the average thing a hypnotist gets. I'm also a master trainer and master hypnotist. So yeah, have some. I've been a martial artist for over 30 years. I have a 9th degree black belt in Okinawan Kempo and Karate. I have a certified black belt, or a certified instructor's ranking in combat systema, 2nd degree black belt in Kosho Kempo. I'm a licensed acupuncturist and diplomate of Oriental medicine. I have more energy credentials than McDonald's sells hamburgers. And every time I go through this pedigree, people either think I'm bragging or trying to compensate for something. So I'll let you decide. Stumpy, wait a minute, what the hell? Sorry, graffiti. You'll get that in a minute. All right. Why am I telling you this? Because there's one other credential that makes it extremely relevant why I'm standing up in front of you here tonight. In 2005, while I was going through my internship in acupuncture school, I wrote a program, or not a program, a course. It's called Secret Orgasm Tips. Okay? It was a program designed specifically to teach men how to become the lover every woman fantasizes about. Yes. And within a year, that was one of the top selling courses on ClickBank. This is before the advent of a lot of stuff you see on Amazon and things like that. In 2005, I was voted one of the top 10 attraction experts of the year by Art of Approaching and SeductionLayer.com. The reason that's relevant is because it wasn't because I was really good at going out and getting lots and lots of women. That wasn't really my claim to fame, although to do what I do is kind of a given, right? It was because I developed a system that would allow people to tap into the most important things in another human being's life, both physically, sexually, emotionally, and give it to them. And then show them how to take them even further than what even their fantasies were about. Now, it was based on this concept, which is directly from NLP, called the checklist. Now, there's this thing in NLP we call criteria and values. I will explain that later, but for now, just think of it as a checklist. Every human being in this room has a checklist in their unconscious that lets them know the exact right way to kiss, the exact right way to be kissed, the exact place they want to be touched, how they want to be touched, when they want to be touched, ad infinitum, all the way to that age-old equation, 1 + 1 = 3. You'll get that tomorrow. It's all right. And what I did in that course was teach men, who are dumb as rocks, because we are, ladies, we know, I get that. Okay, I'm on your side. Was teach a man how to pay attention to you. To know exactly, without fail, exactly where you want to be touched in the way you want to be touched. How to kiss you in the way you want to be kissed, the way you've always fantasized and never told anyone, where you wanted it to happen. Now, just as a little quiz, guys, pay attention, please. Ladies, if you met a guy who knew exactly what to say, exactly where to touch you, when it was okay to touch, in exactly the right way, as if he just read your mind, literally, and he gave it to you in a way that was absolutely right, what would you not do for that person? That's what I did. That was the course I created in 2005 for people. It's still available, although numerous Google slaps have kind of removed it from the radar for most people. But there were 3 levels to it. I only released the first level. And I was already getting phone calls from couples all over the world saying, "Thank you, you saved our marriage." Okay? So this is why I'm standing up here in front of you, because if you take the things I'm going to share with you tonight, and believe me, if this is the scope of every single thing that I could teach you about this topic, if there's the scope of everything I could teach you about the topic tonight, we have time for this. So I'm going to take you, no pun intended, as far as I can in the time that we have, and I'll show you where to go to get more. I have a list of reminders on this board. They're not meant for you to read, because there's no way in God's green earth you're going to read that, because I can't do it. I just happen to know what I wrote, so it's better, right? You're going to be very, very, very happy with the results that you get out in the real world, because it's all about real world results. Okay, I'm going to teach you some things based on neuroscience, based on social dynamics, based on NLP, a few things on conversational hypnosis. They're all ethical. They're all honest. And a lot of them were designed for women to be used on men. Is that fair? Okay, here's the next part of tonight's nomenclature. When I ask you a question, you must respond vividly, vehemently, and enthusiastically like you really actually want the answer. Could that be? Right? By the way, the other reason that I got you up and shaking each other's hands and doing all those crazy things is for two very important reasons. A, because I'm a conversational hypnotist, I can in fact get you to do things you don't want to do. The other part is, we have to get over this idea of feeling silly, of being playful, of approaching a completely anonymous or distinct, even though I know Marietta from years and years. She was one of the first people to come to one of my meetups, so give her a big round of applause.
Thank you.
She actually came to one of my martial arts meetups and chased me with an eskrima stick and a knife. But that's a different story for another day. Walking up to a complete stranger and being willing to be silly, being willing to be playful and not caring about the response that you get. That's the secret. When you can do that on a consistent basis, when you can turn on the playful switch, you're going to be amazed at the kind of charisma you're going to generate. Because at the end of the day, see, what happens a lot of times is the guys come in, they all want the magic words. When I approach a girl, what do I say to her? Well, it doesn't really matter. Because if your body language isn't right, if the feelings in your body aren't right, nothing that comes out of your mouth can be. And this is science. This is not David just standing up here. Now, a lot of the things I've been teaching for over a decade have finally, neuroscience, social psychology, has finally come around to validating. And where it's relevant, I will point those things out. But when it comes to approaching, when it comes to, for both genders, both sides have issues with approaching or being approached, but they're different. Guys, every time we look at a beautiful woman, the first thing that happens is we play these movies in our head. First of all, if she's really hot, the first thing that comes out of our brain is, oh my God. Right? She's hot. And we start playing all these movies about all the things we could be doing. And that's great, except then the other movies start. We start playing movies of us being vividly rejected by this wonderful human being who we've just pinned our entire self-worth on. Right? I'll give you an example. One of my students, very cool guy, in his early to mid-50s, went to a liquor store one day, saw this beautiful woman, about the same age, and I vividly recall this story. He says to me, this is how it went. He goes, I saw myself there, and I saw her, and I saw in my mind walking up to her, introducing myself. We get into this amazing conversation. We chat for 10 or 15 minutes. She gives me her number. I call her up. We start going out. We start having a ball. We fall madly in love. We're about to get married. And then we have this horrible breakup, so I never approached her. We do this. Ladies, we do this. Okay? You don't see us before you see us, this is what you see when we walk up. Okay? This is what's going on in our heads. Oh my God. Right? Because even though we're walking up and we're trying to look cool, in our minds we're saying, no, not with you. Okay? Guys, they have a different problem with us. Most ladies aren't afraid of being approached. What they're afraid is you won't get the message that the interview is over. and that they'll get into an interview or an interaction that they can't get out of. You see, their socialization has gaps in it too. Most of the things that a woman pays attention to are so subtle that they fly right under a guy's radar. So by the time they've reached what in our vernacular, in guy speak, we call the bitch shield. You know this. This is where she was all wonderful and accommodating. All of a sudden she turned green, got a pointed nose. She opened her mouth, a little light went on inside like a refrigerator. Right? And we got frozen out completely. You missed all the earlier attempts that she was giving you that this interview was over, it's time to move on. And it's not your fault. Ladies, it's not your fault either. Each of you evolved a very, very specific set of cues, a checklist. There's that word again. That you use to parse reality, that you use to understand what's going on around you. Here's the rub. Anybody here know what the term projection is? Okay. Good. This means yes. This means no. This means I know the answer. This means I don't. Let's not confuse the signals, shall we? All right. So what happens is, the cues, ladies, that you're sending off are blatantly obvious to every woman in the room. Guys were like, what? Right? Really. The problem is that guys, we pay attention to signals that are much more blatant, much more obvious, and if you were to relate to a guy in the signals that he actually responds to, every other woman in the place would go, what a slut. She's practically holding up a sign. Yes, because we're stupid. We need a sign. Some of us guys, you could literally walk up to us and go, and some of us would sit there and go, wonder what he meant by that. Right? So we need to understand how to translate the signs and the signals that the other side is giving. Neither side is wrong. But you evolved very differently. Because of evolution, ladies evolved a much greater ability to perceive subtle body language. You can see 5, 6, 7, 8 women in a group, and you know it, and every woman in that room knows instantly when the conversation is over. And we're going, what the fuck just happened? Right? Guys, you get in a room full of people, especially guys, and the first thing that happens is the fight for control. Okay? Everybody's jockeying for the alpha position. And for the first 5, 10, 15 minutes, it's organized chaos until the pecking order, who the alpha male is established, and then everybody falls in line. And they take on very, very identifiable behaviors. Why? They're the hunters. They're the gatherers. Evolutionarily, their biology is such that they have to go out, see it, do I eat it, do I kill it, do I fornicate with it? Drag home. See it, do it. Because the reproductive burden fell on women since we crawled out of the ocean, you needed a different set of skills. You needed to develop a way to create very intricate, very complex, very supportive social networks. You needed to be able to gauge and understand what the behaviors you were experiencing actually meant, and learn how to judge and relate based on that. Because part of your evolution is learning how to get somebody with access to the resources to do things for you. Because you couldn't necessarily do them for yourself because you had other things to worry about. Does that sound even remotely true? This means yes, this means no. Okay? And so you evolve very, very different mechanisms for learning how to sort reality. The problem isn't that neither of your systems are wrong. It's just what you're sending off is so early in their, and so far off their regular radar, what they pay attention to, that unless somebody who stands up on a stage and makes weird penis jokes or something like that, calls their attention to it, you won't notice it and you won't be able to translate. So my job here is in having both genders in the room is to teach you how the other side perceives what's going on, so you can change a little bit and so you can understand things differently. So when I say, guys, we make all kinds of movies in our head about being rejected. Women want you to approach. They truly do. The problem is they're terrified that they're going to get themselves into an interaction that they can't get themselves out of. Because there's that little bit of a gap between how there's, the degree, I'm going to use a male metaphor here, there might be one in the female world, but you know the varying degrees of force, acceptable force continuum in police work? You know, if somebody yells, pig, you're not allowed to pull your gun out and shoot him. Well, that's changing, isn't it? Sorry, that's my politically incorrect humor. But there's an escalation, right? In female socialization, there's actually a bit of a gap in there, in that there's a few things that they do that kind of signal, it's not kind of going there, it's nice, let's just be friends, but we don't get it. And they keep running the same record, and they keep kind of stepping up the intensity until finally they're left with, dude, fucking leave. Right? That's pretty much what they're left with. And it's not that they want to do that. I hope I'm right about that. It's not that you guys want to do that. Would that be true?
Yes.
It's that you just don't know how to get the message across. So I'm going to give you a few little one-liners, not zingers, but one-liners that allow you to kind of build in that force continuum of ways to extricate yourself from interactions that may not be going in the direction you want to. At the same time, I'm going to give you guys some very cool ways to kind of get your head in the game. No pun intended, I don't really like that term, the game. I don't like the word seduction either. Actually, it's one of the words I hate the most, even though it's one that everybody recognizes. I much prefer attraction and relation to one another. So be that as it may. So the first thing we're going to do is we got to get playful. We got to have fun. How many people here can feel good for no friggin' reason? Raise your hands. Oh. Wow. So you can feel good for no reason? I'm coming to your seminar. Damn. Everybody stand up. First things first. I want you to, these are cool drills that I do with everybody, but they're ones that will allow you to get into whatever body state you need to be in to do the work you need to do. When I say work, that could be walking up to somebody you don't know and introducing yourself. It could be a board meeting. It could be anything. How many people have ever heard of a TED Talk called Power Poses by Amy Cuddy? Okay, that's your first assignment. If you have not seen that video, go to YouTube. It is free. Watch it. It will blow your mind. Because what I'm about to share with you is some of it is actually science that was validated in Power Poses. It's also some things that I've been teaching for almost 20 years that science has finally got around to validating. And it's all about your body. You know, we talk about the magic words. You know, what do I say to a woman, or what do I say to a guy to make him fall madly in love with me? Has nothing to do with the words you speak. And science has proven this too. There's another book. I'm going to give you a very long reading list so you can check my work. It's called Honest Signals. Honest Signals by Alexander Penland. He was a researcher out of Stanford. Okay? And what he discovered, there were 4 unique channels of information that people use to communicate in socially competitive environments. Everything from dating to negotiation to interrogation, interviews, and so forth. And if you understand these 4 channels of communication, you can predict with a 30, depending on where you pick up the information, between a 30 and 70% accuracy what decision is going to be made in the first 30 seconds. Wow. Without any words being spoken. This is how powerful this information is. There's 4 channels. Remind me, I'll come back to them because they're not directly relevant tonight, but peripherally they're relevant. And I say that not because I want to withhold the information from you, but when I have tried to teach the honest signals component to people who haven't had at least a couple of levels of other training in body language first, the lights just shut off. They can't perceive it yet. Okay? But trust me, if you read the book, all the science is there, the channels are there, you'll be able to extrapolate it, and you'll be able to find out when these things were true. But what we're going to do now is we're going to learn how to control our body and our emotion, our unconscious mind. We're going to learn how to turn it on and off like a switch. Any state we want, any time we want. We're going to start with a few basic exercises from Amy Cuddy's Power Poses. Now, in that particular video, there were 3 poses that she isolated. One was called the victory pose. Anybody ever see that? Anybody ever like win and your hands just go up like this unconsciously? Right, very cool. The next one is called the Wonder Woman pose. The third one I call the gorilla. And the gorilla is, if you ever seen a CEO at a board meeting and he just kind of goes, yeah. Right? I'm not going to recommend we do that one because if we're in San Francisco, that's going to be taken in a completely different way. I just lost my entire readership in San Francisco. I love you guys in that non-gay way. But anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with this. We're going to do a 2-minute posture. Now, while we're doing this, I'm going to relate to you, in a non-gay way, that what exactly Amy discovered in her research was that when you hold those poses, and these poses specifically, that we're going through right now, in as little as 2 minutes, your testosterone goes up by as much as 25%. Is there any male in this room who couldn't use a 25% bump in their testosterone? Exactly. Ladies, any ladies in this room that couldn't use a 25% bump in their testosterone? Say yes. Yes. Thank you. Why? Why do I say that? Because testosterone is the achievement hormone. Testosterone allows you to be assertive, it allows you to be dominant, it allows you to go for what you want. Okay? Empathy, or estrogen, is the empathy hormone. Okay? You want to see a guy turn into a doormat? Watch all his testosterone turn into estrogen. And he'll become the exact kind of guy that you think about having, and then once you have him, you can't wait to get rid of him. Because all he does is kiss your ass. We'll talk about those things, right? Some of the things that socialization teaches us on the surface seem like a great have, something that we really want to have. But unfortunately, there's drawbacks to them that undermine our relationships. Most women think that they want a guy who's all sensitive and calm until they actually have one. And then they wish for the spark and the vigor and the excitement and the moonlighting and the dynamism and the electricity back. You have to have a balance. You have to be similar enough that you guys can connect and feel comfortable and secure with each other, but different enough that you remain exciting. And that's the rub. Okay? Anybody feel more dominant now? I know I do. I just grew a beard. Very cool. All right, put your hands down, but don't sit down yet. Okay, next drill is going to be very, very simple. I want everybody to imagine a time in your life, or remember a time in your life, this is even better, when you nailed something, you went for something, like you saw something that you really, really, really wanted. I mean really wanted, like lust factor, like 10 to the 20th, right? And you decided that you were going to get it no matter what. And you made a plan. Yes?
Are you talking about relationships or just anything?
I don't care what it is as long as it's something that you want to use as a resource. Okay? Because we've gotten hold, this was the base. Now we're going to get a little bit more artistic. I don't care what it was as long as it gives you the feelings you want to have more of. Okay, it could be a business that you put in operation, it could be a project you launched. I don't care what it is, as long as it follows the parameters. It's something you wanted more than anything. You decided you were going to get it no matter what. You made a decision to go for it. You made a plan. Made a plan. You put that plan into operation, and you nailed it. Home run. And what I want you to do is I want you to think back to that time, remember that time. I want you to see what you saw, hear what you heard, feel what you felt. Most importantly, I want you to stand the way you were standing in that moment. I want you to breathe the way you were breathing in that moment. When you realized you nailed it, it was yours, you owned it. I want you to feel that feeling come flooding back to you. And as you do that, I want you to notice where in your body that feeling lives. Just point to where you feel it. I don't care where it is. Excellent. Now, imagine that floating somewhere in the space around you is a picture that represents that event, that moment, that feeling. Just reach out and touch it. Now take both of your hands. Trace the edges of it with both of your hands so you know exactly how big it is. Both of your hands. Follow instructions, damn you. Now grab it. And I want you to expand it like the window on your iPhone. Make it as big as an IMAX movie theater screen and notice what happens to the feeling in your body. Oh my frickin' God. I may never leave the house. Cool. Bring it back to its original size. I know, it's depressing. Pull it closer to you without changing the size of it now. Pull it closer to your body. Notice what happens to the feeling. What happens?
Excitement.
Excitement. Woohoo! Good shit. Wait, it's getting better. Lift it up over your head. Pull it down around you like a big blanket. Notice what happens to the feeling in your body. You like that shit, don't you? Oh wait, I got more. Okay? And let's just finish this. I want to explain so much. Unwrap it, lift it up over your head. Now, you can have this back in just a moment, but for the sake of the drill, for the sake of the exercise, just follow instructions. You guys know what a frisbee is, right? I want you to imagine that this thing just turned into a frisbee, float all the way behind you, back behind the horizon. Marietta, what just happened?
Gone.
It's gone? Oh shit. What just happened to your feeling?
Still there?
You're lying. He has tested my lie detection skills. He went, you're lying. Very good. How many people noticed the feeling went away? Raise your hands. How many people are lying? It's all right. If it didn't go away, you didn't throw it far enough. You ready for the next part? Lift your hands up. Imagine you have big old vacuum cleaners in your hands, or magnets, whichever works better. Pull that image back. And now what I want you to do is I want you to put it where you like it the best, where it's the strongest, most wonderful, most satisfying feeling ever, and just put it right where you want it. It's your neurology. We're teaching you how to run it. And let those feelings merge into every level of your body, every level of your mind. Let them become a natural part of the way you move. And when you know it's locked in, when you know you've got it, try to turn it off and notice what happens instead. Can't turn it off? Oh shit. You mean you're stuck feeling good? Damn you, Skywalker. Anyway. Good stuff. It gets better. Close your eyes and look inside at that feeling. Notice there's a color connected to that feeling. What's the color, first impression? Don't have to tell me, just know what it is. As you look at that color, I want you to notice it's moving. It's spinning in a certain direction. Notice what directions it's spinning. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to reach in, grab that color, take it out and hold it in your hands in front of you. First thing I want you to notice is, did the color change or stay the same? First impression. Stay the same? Excellent. Now grab it. Notice it's spinning in a certain direction, right? I want you to spin it like a wheel in the direction it's already moving. Just double the spin, double the speed, get your body involved, double the force, double the magnitude. Keep doubling it over and over and over again until it takes on a life of its own, until it's impossible for it to go back the way it was. When you know you've got it, slam it back into that spot. Ooh, notice the change. Notice as this new program works its way deeper and deeper into your nervous system, any program that's not in harmony with this new set of instructions, the nervous system is going to begin to shed. It's going to begin to purge like a snake shedding its skin. You may notice you start to sweat. You may notice things start to twitch. Some people yawn, some people laugh, some people choke, some people just go, it's kind of fun to watch. Don't try to measure it, don't try to manage it. Just let the process happen. And when you know it's done, try to turn it off and notice what happens instead. What happened? You can't turn it off? You mean I'm walking up to complete strangers? Well, we're friends now. And giving you guys feelings you can't turn off? Anybody else want to know how to do that? No? Yep. That's a superpower, guys, and you all got it. Now here's the best part. While holding on to this feeling, while holding on to the posture, while holding on to the breathing, without changing anything. You ready? Try to feel bad. Keep your posture, your breathing exactly the same. Try to feel bad. Notice you can't do it. Why? Well, aside from the neurolinguistic stuff we just did, there is no power on this planet that can override your physiology. There is no emotional state, no context or environment that can change your state without changing your physiology first. As long as you're in control of your posture and your breathing, you can be in any state you want no matter what's going on around you. That's the magic. It has nothing to do with the words. It has everything to do with the feelings. Does that make sense? That's why I had to start with something that's going to make you unstoppable out there in the field. So now every time you see something you want, you're going to decide you want it. You're going to make a plan. You're going to put the plan into operation, and you're going to nail it. Because those resources are already inside of you. You just have to find them. And all you have to do to reactivate that state is remember how you were standing. Now we'll prove it won't go one step further. Okay? But for this one, I want you all to turn and face the wall so you're not looking at my ass when this shit happens. And I know you're not looking at my ass because it's behind you, but that's a different issue. All right, now, I want you to remember a time in your life when things didn't quite go so well. They didn't work out quite the way you planned. It was a little disappointing. Maybe you walked up to somebody and they vomited on your shoes, or maybe you just picked up the phone and they said no. It doesn't really matter. All I want you to do is I want you to see what you saw, hear what you heard, feel what you felt, but most importantly, I want you to remember exactly how you were standing or sitting. What was your posture in that moment? How are you breathing? And all I want you to do is let those old feelings come back. That's less than positive. And as you do that, I want you to pay attention to exactly how you're standing, exactly how you're breathing. And once you know you've got the feeling, without changing your posture, without changing your breathing, try to feel good. Notice you can't do it. Now, while holding on to this negative feeling as fiercely as humanly possible, all I want you to do is shift your body back to the good physiology, the good posture, the good breathing. But hold on to that negative feeling. Do your best. Notice what happens instead. You can look up here now. Turn around, look up here. Keep that good posture, though. Roll them shoulders back. What's your name, sir? Yes, you.
Christian.
Christian. Pass the mic to Christian. I just got to talk to a guy with hair like that. It's cool. Christian, what'd you notice?
I noticed that all the bad feelings faded.
All the bad. So the minute you shifted back, I'm paraphrasing, but the minute you shifted the physiology back to the positive posture, in spite of consciously trying to hold on to the negative feelings, they went away?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I didn't want to put that in your mouth, but that's it. Pass the microphone to some other willing participant, or unwilling participant in this case. What did you notice?
About the same.
About the
I shifted from feeling from sad back to positive and happy.
Even though my instructions were to hold on to the negative feeling as much as you could.
No, you said to switch our posture.
What I said was, while holding on to the negative feeling, shift back to the positive posture and try to hold on to it. But that's okay. You felt happy, right?
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Pass it on down to the Shawnator.
Because it's turning around, it definitely felt better by just getting my head and shoulders out.
That's right. That's called a cranial rectotomy. You guys will get that tomorrow. What did you notice?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
I knew that was coming. Honestly, just turning around, like I knew in my mind that now I'm in a positive state.
Okay.
That was negative, it's positive, and just knowing that now I'm in a positive state of mind.
Perfect.
Felt better.
Excellent. Pass it on to some other unwilling participant. This is a very interactive workshop. You might have noticed that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had the exact same experience. I'm trying to hold on to that negative feeling, but just by changing my body, it just evaporated.
Perfect. One more, two more people. Change your posture, damn it.
She's had it already.
She's had it already?
I found myself difficult to hold on to negative with a good posture.
Excellent.
I had a consciously trying to grab onto it.
Isn't that weird? You see how, now think about it, the game is rigged. I knew you wouldn't be able to do it. Why? I've been doing this with thousands of people for 20 years. Okay? The only time people can hold on to a negative emotion is by shifting their physiology back. Do you understand that? You can't hold on to a negative emotion if your physiology doesn't match the state. If you understand, if you really get it, I mean really get it, no one can push your buttons ever again unless you let them. Okay? It's not about the words, it's not about willpower. The sad and depressing fact about willpower in human beings is most of us have none. Okay? When your body goes into a certain level of emotional stress, the first thing that checks out is your rational mind, the part of you that works off of willpower. It's often been said that people will forget what you say, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Well, how you make them feel goes directly to what you're feeling in your body. You want to be flirty, you want to be fun, you want to be charismatic, you want to be attractive, you got to get control of your body. You got to get back in your body. But we live in a culture that systematically pulls us out, turns us into a bunch of talking heads. We relate to a monitor or a computer screen. We need to relate to people. We need to get back into the meat. I'm a Supernatural fan, so everything I'm going to have is going to have some weird television reference. All right? Just pass the mic up here, but have a seat. Thank you. Now, our first drill tonight is going to be, we're going to learn a little bit about body language 101. Okay? But we got to get playful. We got to get fun. So we're going to do a couple of other really cool drills. Anybody mind getting, anybody here have a substance abuse problem that I need to know about? Chocolate abuse? Now, thank you for reminding me. We have lots and lots and lots of hormone-laced substance in the room. Oh, I mean chocolate, I'm sorry. One of the things that we need to understand about this whole feel good for no reason idea is this idea of what was called neuroplasticity. The more oxytocin, which is the hormone that mediates and is secreted by pleasure states in the body, is a powerful neurotransmitter that changes our neurology. It allows our nervous system to lay down new types of learning over the existing learning, regardless of how long that learning's been there. If you think of the nerves or the nerve cells in your body, kind of, I always think of it like anybody here know what chicken wire is? Okay. Well, if you don't, you've ever seen floats made with the thin wire that you can shape and stuff like that. That's how I kind of see all the neurology in the brain. And what I think of when I think of oxytocin hitting that system, you took a blowtorch and just slowly ran the blowtorch over the wire until it got really, really soft and pliable, and then reshaped it, and when it hardened, it became something else. That's kind of what oxytocin, when it hits your system, starts to do. If you can secrete it in a high enough dose and keep the system there in that environment for long enough periods of time, you can literally rewrite any behavior. Okay? It's also the bonding hormone. It's the hormone that mediates pair bonding between a mother and a child, a wife and a husband. It plays a primary role in many types of OCD, fetishes, things of that nature, and it is the most powerful hormone for learning. Now, guys have another one that we work off of called vasopressin, but for all intents and purposes, I'm just going to refer to that oxytocin vasopressin as oxytocin, just to keep it simple without getting too much into the biochemistry. My wife has a PhD in biochemistry, by the way, so if I get this shit wrong, I'm going to hear about it. Okay? But a couple of ways that I can get you to a place where I can start to install good stuff into you and that you can just do these things automatically is A, by getting you in as many different pleasure states as possible. Now, the most oxytocin is released during intense, continuous orgasm. We won't be doing that tonight. I know, it sucks. Another way we can do it is by hugging for 20 minutes or longer. Probably logistically not effective for what we're going to do, right? We're going to get friendly, we ain't getting that friendly. I can make you laugh a whole lot. I can make you access pleasure states as often as I can. And I can give you lots and lots and lots of chocolate, because it's naturally occurring in chocolate. So the more chocolate you eat, the faster you change. And I also do weight loss. So please, during the breaks and what have you, eat as much. It's all free. There's again, as much coffee, as much water as humanly. Just eat it. Trust me. You'll thank me later, one way or another. All right. So since this whole idea of the body, right? We got to get playful. We got to do all these things. Is there any way that we can use our body to get playful? Not that one. When you think about posture, you think about body language, okay? When we think of somebody as honest, as being has a high moral character, how do we describe those people? Upright? Cheater. She's been to my seminars before. Any other body type words that we use to describe somebody who's ethical and honest and has a good character? Upstanding. Open. Look in the eye. Okay? He's a stand-up guy. Here's the thing you need to understand about your brain. Your brain has different layers to it, and each of those layers processes a different kind of information. But many of those kinds of information overlap. There's a subsystem in, I forget if it's neuroscience or biology, it's called embodied cognition. And what they discovered was that the same parts of your brain that process physical warmth also process emotional warmth. So your brain is simultaneously literal, analogical, and metaphorical. And so when these words come out of our mouth, they're literal indicators of what our neurology is sorting for or how our neurology codes things. That's the science of NLP. It's the study of how your nervous system codes its experience so it knows what to do in a given situation, right? So when we talk about people who are honest and upright and ethical, We call him a stand-up guy. He's straight as an arrow, right? He's open. But what about people who aren't? Who aren't ethical, who aren't honest, who aren't straight up? What do we call those people?
Crooked.
Crooked. Shifty.
Con artist.
What is it?
Con artist.
Con artists.
And liar.
And liars, right? But that's not the body language terminology I'm looking for, right? And a good con artist has his body language down so well, unless you are really, really good, you won't see it coming, right? But there are certain kinds of people that a con artist is sorting for, and they usually have a hole in their values. That's the rub of it. Is most con artists only go after greedy people. Didn't know that, did you? Doesn't mean that they're not ethical or honest or good people. It just means that there's something they really, really want, and they're willing to cut some corners to get it. And that's the kind of person that a con artist is looking for. Okay? More often than not. That's the Achilles heel. But getting back to the whole body language idea. Someone's crooked. They're bent. They're shifty. Now, do you know in theater, if they wanted to describe, or if they wanted to convey to the audience the kind of person or character that was being portrayed on stage, depending on whether the person was very cerebral, was very heart-centered and giving, or very lusty, that's the part of the body they would lead with. Because it conveys a very powerful visceral image to the neurology. You get it? How does this relate to flirting? Flirting has a body language. It has a posture. And regardless of what you consciously want, the minute you hit that posture, you can't help yourself. Everybody started to giggle. Crooked people are dishonest. Honest people are upright. Flirty people are mischievous. You open up a Playboy magazine or a men's magazine or a woman's magazine, you don't see the models going, do you? How are they, pardon, no pun intended, how are they spread out? Had to goose your reptile brain a little bit there. You see them in these postures. These asymmetrical, angular postures. Everybody stand up. This is how pervasive this is, right? All I want you to do is stand up straight. Put a big-ass smile on your face, right? And then all I want you to do is get a little leaning. And notice what happens to the feelings in your body. Kind of goofy, isn't it? Kind of mischievous, kind of playful. You mean if I just did that for two minutes, I could actually have a different mindset? Yes. It's a tactical use of posture so that you can take on the states that you need to be in, so that no matter what comes out of your mouth, it will be effective. Here's how it actually works. Most of us go looking for the right words to cause people to feel a certain way so they will behave a certain way so they'll do what we want. True or not true? True. It's exactly the opposite. Because what we're taught to do is give people facts and figures. We're taught to talk to the newest level of his brain, the neocortex. You guys know everybody have a seat. We'll come back to this. All right? You guys know you have 3 brains, right? Yep. Who does not know they have 3 brains? And it's not the one below your waist. But it is connected. All right? Okay. Raise your hands if you do not know. Okay, that's where we start. At least we have 1 or 2 honest people in the room. All right. This is your brain on David. Ooh, it's small. This is the oldest layer of your brain. It's called the paleocortex, okay? It is your reptile brain. It does not think in emotions. It does think in feelings, though. And when we talk about feelings, we're talking about primal drives, primal urges. Okay? Do I eat it? Do I kill it? Do I ... with it? Right? Will it give me more stuff? It's also the one that thinks friend or foe. Move the genes forward. Important concept. When we start looking at how to relate to another human being via gender, we have to look at that particular aspect. Remember something. Your genes don't go to heaven. The genes stay here. So the reptile brain's job is designed to do anything and everything that moves the genes forward. In men, that means we beat it over the head and we kill it, we take it home, we either eat it, skin it, or do whatever we do to it, right? In ladies, that means we find ways to ally with it, ways to control it, ways to understand it, and ways to utilize it, all right? Both are reptilian. One is, got to remember, society to the reptile is a survival mechanism. Therefore, important when it comes to flirting and it comes to attraction, female neurology is hardwired to sort for high resource, high status human beings. Okay? In pickup terms, we would call it Ferrari game. Who has the most money? Who's the strongest? Who has the greatest degree of health? These are all are heritable traits that lead to enhanced survival. Does that make sense? So when we talk to the reptile brain and we speak and address that level first, all the younger levels of the brain follow it. You got it? Okay? Anytime I want 20 minutes more attention from you, I'm going to make a sexual innuendo. Not because I'm perverse. But every time I goose the reptile brain, I get 20 minutes more attention. There's an entire field of marketing called neuromarketing designed to address and present information to the reptile brain. There's a whole subsection of legal professionals, lawyers, personal injury specifically, who design their whole approach to activating and stimulating the reptile brain. And they have in the billions of dollars in verdicts based on this idea. These are what the highest paid professionals in the world are using every single day to push your buttons. Because they know if they stimulate your reptile brain, then you will have a physiological sensation in your body which will create a cascade of emotions which have associations connected to those. And when that happens, how you perceive yourself and the world around you will change without you knowing it, without you realizing it. And you will become predisposed to filtering the information in the priority they want you to sort it in. Paul Ekman called that behavior the emotional refractory period. And it's a behavior that every single human being in this room does on a repeated basis every single day. Anybody here been in an argument with somebody? Anybody here lie to me while I'm asking a question? Here's a better one. How many people here have ever been little children? Raise your hands. Okay, nobody here, only 5 people in the room have been little children. Did you not understand the question? Raise your friggin' hands if you've ever been a child. Thank you very much. How many of you, when you were little children, played pretend? Okay, very good. We're getting better. Now, I'm going to ask you a couple questions, real simple. When you played pretend, you did raise your hand, didn't you? What did you play pretend to add? What was your favorite thing to play pretend?
House.
House? Cool. Cool. And did you have imaginary housemates, or did you actually have friends around the neighborhood that played with you?
Friends.
Cool. Anybody here ever have imaginary friends? Raise your hands. We have meds for you. All right. You had imaginary friends?
Of course.
Okay, hand him the mic. Let me speak to one of them. No, sorry. So when you played with your imaginary friends, did you talk to them?
Yes.
Sure. Did they talk back?
Of course.
Excellent. Anybody else have imaginary friends? Give it to this young lady. We'll pass the baton. Why am I doing this stupid drill? It's all relevant. Trust me. Tell me about your imaginary friends.
It was a statue.
A statue? Boy, that was dynamic. Hi, how you doing?
Talk back.
You talk back?
Yeah.
Cool. We're going to up your meds real soon. Anybody else? Who else played pretend? Pass it to the edster.
Yeah, I had some that actually, they were like angels I talked to, and they gave me answers to things that I didn't know I was asking.
Like invest in Apple. I get it.
It was weird. My parents thought I was a freak.
Okay. Freaks. How many people here played pretend again? No, I'm not going to give you the mic. It's okay. How many of the ladies here were ever tomboys? Okay, cool. I like you already. Any tom girls in the room? Nobody ever missed it. Now here's my point. You're out in the back. Here's my point. You're out in the backyard, right? Play and pretend. Maybe you're playing soldier. Anybody ever play soldier? Anybody ever, like, here's a superhero geek like me? I'm a total superhero geek. Go to my YouTube channel. You'll see me wearing Spider-Man shirts, Green Lantern shirts. I'm just a geek. I can't help it. But here's my point. You're out in the backyard. Maybe we'll use soldier as an example. Right? But it could have been, you know, teacups or fairy godmother or My Little Ponies or whatever. It doesn't matter. But you had a toy or a prop or a stick that you picked up. And you knew when you picked up the stick, the first 5 minutes you picked it up, it was just a stick, right? In the first 5 minutes. 6.5 minutes later, it's a real M60, you're really Rambo, there's really bad guys back there. I gotta calm that down. Anyway. It's you're so absorbed in that process, you're so focused in that process. Were you asleep? No. No. Were you having a ball? Hell yeah. Were you focused on what you were doing? Ladies and gentlemen, if you can do that in this room, you can have anything you want. Because that's called trance. And that is how you access the nervous system, your nervous system. That is how you make changes in your neurology. That is how you bypass the level of your brain that says, you can't do that. Any emotional state that you experience is no different, except that you don't realize you're in a trance. Every emotional state that your body goes through causes a certain level of absorption, a certain level of focus, and it changes how you perceive reality. It changes how you perceive the world. So when I asked how many people have ever been in an argument, how many people have been in an argument, you've gone through the argument process, you resolve the argument, and then, for some strange reason, for the next 10, 15, 20 minutes, anything they say pisses, or you say, pisses them off again. Welcome to marriage. Anyway, but did I say that out loud? True, not true? True. How many people have ever gone car shopping? Now, I'm looking for a new car right now, and I am doing all kinds of due diligence, right? And why am I spending so much time on this? Because if you don't understand this, the world will control you instead of you controlling the world. You get it? All of these things are happening below the threshold of your conscious awareness, and they're driving your bus for you. And they're writing the results of your approach or your interaction before you even open your mouth. We get this right, we got 80 to 93% of the whole problem nailed. The rest is translation. So, I'm looking for cars, right? I'm looking for a minivan. I can't bring myself to buy a minivan because my self-image just will not accept the fact that I am a soccer dad. I just can't wrap my head around that, right? But I've looked at every dealership I can find in San Diego. I've looked online. I've negotiated things. How many people have ever negotiated a car deal or really done their homework on a car? All right, so here's the deal. You finally get to the point where you make the buying decision. You got the correct color, you got the right warranty, you got the right price. Well, maybe not the right price, but you're okay with it. You get the car, you're driving home. You look out the side mirror. You look out the rearview mirror and the other side mirror, and every motherfucker on the planet bought the same car in the same color on the same day. What the fuck? Welcome to the wonderful world of the emotional refractory period. Your nervous system sorts and prioritizes what information it pays attention to first based on the feelings in your body. So if you look at a hot person, whether it's a guy looking at a girl looking at a guy, and the first thing that goes through your body is fear, guess what movies you start playing? Guess how you start to interpret every little thing they do?
Your face.
Rejection.
It frames the meaning of every piece of that interaction before you've even opened your mouth. Now, what if you could enter a state of absolute victory, absolute triumph, absolute playfulness, absolute curiosity, absolute relentlessness, and slick it on like a switch, own those feelings, and just walk up and talk to somebody? Would that be useful?
Yes.
Would it be useful everywhere?
Yes.
Would you like to learn how?
Yeah.
I already taught you. I already taught you how to do it. Posture, breathing, play pretend, move the pictures around. I taught you to. I taught you how to do it. I didn't tell you what I was teaching you because you would have overcomplicated it. Right? I tricked you into getting better. And it will only get better. For as long as your heart continues to beat, for as long as your lungs continue to breathe, this process will install itself at the deepest level of your neurology. Not just because I say so, but because you've done it. You've experienced it. Now, I can always tell who's going to get the most benefit from these events because I give you an instruction to do something, and the people who are going to get results are right in there with me, full absorption, 100%. And then there's the smart guy or the smart girl. I tell them to stand up, and they go. I tell them to point to where they feel it, they go. They have that blank look on their face. I got it cognitively. Fuck cognitively. If you could cognitively fix this shit, you wouldn't be sitting in the room. Remember something, your conscious mind, the part of you that thinks in data, in knowledge, and information, is the weakest part of you. And it's completely at the mercy of the other two levels. The paleocortex and your limbic system, aka your emotional brain. You follow me? The neocortex, that's the last third level, is the part of you that thinks in facts and figures. Data. It's also the part that gets bored the fastest. When the reptile checks out, the information stops going in. This is why if you've ever been on a date, ladies, he's talking about his job, his car, his vacations, what he's going to do with his life, and he doesn't even ask you your last name. Right? Anybody ever have that experience where the guy's just droning on and on about all the reasons why he's a good date? Guys, pay attention. Pay attention. They don't care. I mean, they do. Because their socialization is different. They're designed to be accommodating. They're designed to put their needs second. The problem is you don't reciprocate. And so you do what you're trained to do because we don't think that complexly. We're simple creatures. Hit it, kill it. Same sex? Kill it. Different sex? Notice what happened when I went, Tonality. Tonality is also a nonverbal cue. Has nothing to do with the words. They say 93% of all human communication is nonverbal, right? Now, if you think 93% of all human communication is nonverbal, now think about that for a moment. If the sum total of all human communication were the equivalent of a 100-question test, and you got every single word right, that's what, 7% of the test? What's your grade? Even if you got them all right, you failed. But let's say you didn't get any of the words right, but you nailed the body. You nailed the nonverbals. What's your score now? Now, I don't know where you went to school, but where I went to school, that was pretty damn fucking good. And it kind of works like that. We're going to prove it. We're going to take a short break. We're going to come back. We're going to do some drills that will drive this in. We're going to show you how to be playful on demand. Okay? We're going to show you a conversational framework that if you utilize it will allow you, ladies, to speed read any date you have and know within the first 20 minutes of that date whether it's time to press your escape button, right? Or they're keepers. Guys, you'll learn how to do it too. I had to tweak it for guys a little bit. We're also going to show you the 7 stages, if we have time, of body language and attraction, flirtation, right? We're going to get even more playful though, because what I want to do is I want you to actually practice some of these things with each other, if I can. Would that be cool? Okay. How many people, are you guys having a good time tonight? You learning a lot? Yeah. This means yes? This one? Okay. Give me some energy! Yeah. Now, I have a quick question for you. How many people like to have fun? Yeah. Damn. How many people here are cool people? Raise your hands. How many people here like to go to cool places? Do cool stuff? How many people like to go with cool people to cool places and do cool stuff? In a moment, I'm going to bring up a good friend of mine. His name is Eddie Blackman. He runs Vision Pulse Creative Center, and he's our sponsor for tonight. He's the one providing all of the wonderful accoutrements, everything from the tables to the chairs to the building. How many of you would like to practice some of this hot attraction stuff in Aruba, Cancun, Hawaii, Rome? Or if you're like Eddie, Pennsylvania. Then pay real close attention, because I'm going to bring Eddie up. He's going to talk to you about something that's really, really cool. I think you'll have fun with it. If you like to travel, you like to go to cool places with cool stuff, please welcome my good friend Eddie Blackman. Who's got the microphone?
Thank you. Howdy, how are you doing tonight? Woo! Fantastic. Okay, well, thank you for that introduction, David. I guess I have to live up to a lot, right? Okay. All right, thanks. So yes, I've been to Transylvania. That was my Halloween party last year in a 12th century castle. Does that kind of sound fun? Transylvania. It's actually a real place. People have asked me, no, it's not on the East Coast. That's Pennsylvania. So anyhow, how many of you have either dreamt about or had a honeymoon, like the most amazing honeymoon that you could possibly imagine? And those are usually the times when you go out of your way to kind of design a fantastic trip with your loved one, right? That's like overboard. And if you haven't had a honeymoon, you've like dreamt about the honeymoon, right? How would you like to have that kind of feeling on every single vacation that you go on? Okay, so what would you rather have? Full price or discount on that kind of a vacation? Okay. Would you rather have a discount, or would you rather go on that kind of a vacation for free? Duh. Now, what would you rather have? A free vacation like that, or would you mind at all if someone paid you to go on that vacation? Okay. Well, that's what we do. You have those choices. And we have a travel club called Bucket List Travel Club. And if anybody wants more information, that's my little plug. That's what we do. And we have some amazing deals and things to talk about. I have been on 30 fantastic vacations in the last 2 years. You ask me pretty much any place around the world, I'll tell you either I've been there or I haven't been there, but what to do when you're there, how to get there, how to stay there, how to save money, how to have fun, and how to flirt for profit.
Yay!
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you, Eddie.
We'll
Thank
be
you.
over there by the team bar.
I got it. All right, give a round of applause for Eddie. When Eddie came to me at the old Vision Pulse, he goes to me, David, anytime Eddie comes up to me and goes, hey, David, I get nervous. Because it's either going to cost me money or maybe do weird things on YouTube. I'm not sure which. He goes, David, how'd you like to take your show on the road? And I'm like, okay, what's this going to cost? He starts telling me about this idea. You ever here been on a cruise? That'd be cool. I went on a cruise in April. I got actually paid to go on the cruise. Now, it wasn't anything to do with the World Ventures. I was actually hired to go on a secret mission, which I can't really talk about. I get paid to do really interesting things with my skill sets from time to time. And it takes me to all sorts of cool and exotic locations. But man, I've never been so angry in my life. Because when I saw how pampered these people were, I'm like, motherfucker. If you poop, do they wipe your butt for you too? It was an amazing experience, right? And I got to really, really appreciate just how well a well-run cruise ship takes care of its people. So if you guys do like to travel, I've seen the cruises that World Ventures offers. They are amazing. And people are always bragging to me. I can't leave and do them because of my schedule. But I did join World Ventures not because of all that stuff. It's because I have a family of 5. And if you want to take a family of 5 anywhere, yeah, you get it. Anyway, but leave that as we're coming up on our break. When we come back, let me give you a little rundown. Aside from the playfulness stuff that we're going to work on, we're going to talk about approach and approachability. We're going to talk about the 3 magic questions protocol and how it works. We're going to talk about the 7 stages of attraction, that if you understand what you're looking for, you will know how the stage that any 2 people are as they go from complete stranger to 1 + 1 = 3. Okay? And it works on every human being with a pulse. Okay? The other things we're going to cover are the things I kind of teased you about earlier. We're going to talk about approachability secrets for women. We're going to talk about some of the body language behaviors and things that you're taught that actually keep the right kind of men from approaching you and make sure that the wrong ones do. Okay? Got it all here. I mean, it's in my chicken scratch, so I might be able to, I'm going to have somebody read the Braille rather than actually read the letters. But we're also going to talk about ways, ladies, to extricate yourself from these situations. Just little 1 or 2 things that you can do that extricate you from the interaction without, destroying the guy's self-esteem. Unless he really deserves it. Then we're going to just nail him, right? Guys, we're going to focus on how to get over that approach anxiety, how to get your attitude right, how to get your body right, and how to really approach somebody and signal genuine connection, signal genuine warmth in a way that's not threatening, in a way that radiates charisma and attraction to everyone in the room. We'll talk about this idea of rapport, which everybody talks about, and what we call status gap, which you have to have if you want to generate a sexual tension. Because what flirting is an implied promise of sex without the actual confirmation of, or a chance of sex. I shouldn't say a promise, it's a chance. Now that's important to understand because, ladies, when you flirt with somebody, it doesn't mean you're agreeing to have sex with them, right? It's that sexual tension that makes it exciting. And so how you manage that is very, very important, right? The way you manage is by learning how to get out when you need to get out, right? Which is, again, where we're going to kind of fill in the gaps, kind of smooth things along. I'm going to take, like I said, I will take you as far as I can in this process. If you have specific questions, ask them, right? Now, I love questions. I get flack from my YouTube channel all the time because I take questions and we go off on tangents, but that's where the best stuff comes out. The other thing that we're going to do for ladies, if you want to, is I have 15 or 16 actual body language tips that you can utilize to safely, at whatever comfort level you want, signal that you want to be approached. Guys, I'm going to teach you how to spot these things because you guys are missing out on a tremendous number of opportunities. And I'll leave you with this thought. Who initiates more approaches, men or women? Sorry? How many think it's men? Raise your hand. How many people think it's women? Raise your hands. All the women in the room raise their hand. 60% of all approaches are initiated by women. It's just the guys don't see it. They don't perceive it. And ladies, you don't realize they don't perceive it. So you interpret it as rejection or being a beta male, for lack of a better word. We'll cover that particular genesis and how it works. I'm going to go really fast because my job here is to download as much of this stuff into you as I can. We're going to take 15 minutes. I want you to eat as much chocolate as humanly possible, drink as much water, drink the coffee because we're going to need it, and then we're going to come back and we're going to play. Thank you. You guys can clap. It's okay. I need the reassurance.